You're going to be faced with a lot of different people with a lot of different learning styles and leading styles and just living styles.
And I think that if you're more open-minded, it can be a more humbling experience and you can grow more.
In everything you do and everywhere you go, you're going to grow so much.
Sometimes college can be a lonely place.
I wish that someone had told me, not to be so hard on myself. Everyone makes mistakes.
You just have to be willing and determined to strive and make things happen. Don't let anything stop you.
But college is a place that you can definitely be involved if you decide to take advantage of those opportunities.
College is an adventure.
U Chic, the College Girl's Guide to Everything, is your go-to resource. It includes stories from women around the country at large and small universities, providing advice based on their own experiences. So I've gathered a group of women here in the DC area, both in college and in high school, and I brought them together so that they could ask each other questions and provide advice on what the college experience is really like. Where we'd like to start, I think it makes the most sense to talk about getting started, going to college, that whole process. Are you excited? Are you nervous? What's your overall take on getting ready to go to college?
I'll just share this little story with you guys. The first day that I moved in, I think I moved in that Saturday and school started the next Monday. I cried, and it was because for me it was a big transition.
Did any of you not get into your first school of choice? How did that make you feel?
I mean, it was really disappointing. I can't pretend that I wasn't deeply disappointed that I didn't get into my top choice. So I mean, I had my breakdown and then I kind of got over it. I guess the biggest sting of it is that they didn't want me. It's that
feeling of a little bit of rejection.
Yeah.
If you do the work and you work hard and you don't get in and you know that you did all that you could do, then you have to get over it and know that where you are is where you're supposed to be.
Are you guys worried about, living, sharing space? What questions do you guys have?
I was wondering if you could discuss how the diversity in a university or a college has affected you in any way?
Take advantage of everything you can since you have the opportunity of being with so many different people.
If all you do is just cling to the group who, seems like the most common for you to associate yourself with, I think you miss out on a lot of things.
For the college students, was that a big issue, having to be in the same room with somebody who might not be quite as clean or as messy as you are? How did you guys deal with that transition, that change?
I'd say start off the year by directly and honestly communicating with your roommate. Establish some expectations about what you expect each other to do, taking out the garbage or going grocery shopping together.
One other area I can just remember being an issue, shacking. Boys coming over and staying in the dorm room. Has that happened to any of you, and has that been an issue for you guys?
Communication is huge with that. I've had so many residents sleeping on my couch because they are sexile, so it's just you just got to communicate it right off the bat and set the standards. The hardest is when people are dating people from not the university that they're at, because they'll come for the weekend and stay over, and then it's all of a sudden you have a third roommate and you're like, oh, I didn't sign up for this.
For the women in high school that are here, what do your days look like during the week? So for your typical Monday, who wants to first take a crack at this?
I practice at 4:45, and then I go straight from there to school. And on Mondays, so we have school from 8 to 3, and then after school I have practice from 3:30 to 6:30. So then I come home and do homework, and then I crash, basically. That's pretty much typical weekday.
Do you have any advice on how to deal with the change in schedule and how you can maintain balance in your life?
You can really be an involved college student. You can also be a not involved college student. and your day can look crazy, always on the run, or your day can be why are you so busy? I'm not doing that much.
It's funny because you come in as a freshman and you have your 15 hours of classes for a 168-hour week, and you're like, guess I'll nap and watch Grey's Anatomy and hang out. But then you pile your plate.
In college, there are a lot of temptations, just mainly because you're on your own. You're independent pretty much for the first time in your life. So talk about those temptations and how they've influenced your schedule in college.
People get into the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, go out, and it's like, hi, that's 3 days of your 7-day week that you're, going out. You may wake up hungover the next day, and you've shot a whole weekend worth of productivity.
It is widely acceptable, so I think that is important for us to mention that and to be cognizant of that.
So I was kind of wondering what options besides because I don't have any actual serious moral values, what is so bad about drinking, and what is so bad about smoking, and what is so bad about all these things. It's just, I've been told not to. So what other options are there besides going to friends with who don't drink or do drugs, or hang out with friends who do, and what, I don't know, if you understand that question.
Yeah, no, it's interesting.
It's okay to go to a party. It's okay to, if you want to have a beer or two, that's fine. It's whatever you want it to be. It's just the problem that happens is when things are done in excess. And when we have individuals having to go to the hospital to get their stomach pumped because they've drank too much, that's when the problems happen. And that's when, you really need to sit down and think about, why is it that I'm doing this? I think a lot of people drink because it's what they call liquid courage, and they're nervous and they don't know how to talk to people in social situations, so they're like, well, maybe a drink or two will help, and maybe it does. I remember I was so frustrated freshman year because it seemed like the only thing people wanted to do was drink, and you're just like, we can do other things, people. We're in Washington, D.C., there are jazz clubs, there are museums, there are and no, we don't have to bring flasks to the art museum. Come on, people.
Do you see hookups being a prevalent thing happening, or talk a little bit about that?
Yes. Yeah, it happens a lot, and just I think since we're in our final stretch of high school, a lot of people are just it's going for that last girl or guy or hurrah.
You hear in the media how women these days aren't looking for long-term relationships, and that the standard is to date serially, or just not be attached really. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of those issues, get your feedback on what you guys experience.
Women in college know if they're looking for love and they find sex, and then you just lose both. Once you lose your integrity, everything's a piece of cake pretty much after that. So it's just really about confronting that peer pressure and all those gender stereotypes and looking for what you really want to invest in a relationship that you want to have.
I think one statistic I've seen is that college women, at least 25% of them engage in some form of eating disorder, whether that is binge and purge or anorexia. Is that something that you've witnessed in your experience?
At college, you're all on your own schedule, and so it is completely easy to skip all your meals in the entire day and have no one even take notice of it. And it's completely easy for you to, sneak away after you have eaten a meal without anyone to notice it, and, go to the gym 3 times a day. I've seen, I've worked within the athletics department and seeing people in there that just are on the treadmill for hours, and it's really scary because I've seen it so much and with plenty of my friends, and it's unfortunate because it's just so much pressure, and I don't know what it's coming from, if it's perfectionism or what it is, but I feel like it's heightened so much in college than it was in high school.
What would you recommend to women getting ready to go to college, and how to deal with some of those pressures?
Because you're taking on so much, and you have so little time in a day. So I think it's very important to just have some time for yourself to rejuvenate, or whether it's meditation or going for a run or doing yoga, Pilates, whatever works for you. You just have to take time out of your day for yourself, or go treat yourself to ice cream and things like that. Something so simple like that could have a huge impact on how you deal with stress.
U Chic, The College Girl's Guide to Everything, is a book that will help you make the college experience your own.